All right, good morning, good morning. It's 6:32-ish. Sorry, I'm a little late. April 10th. Everyone's feeling good. It is Wednesday. It's CPI Day. Full disclosure. Let's get to it. What up, what up? Good morning, good morning. I'm sorry I'm a tiny bit late. Got a lot going on today. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to the 6:30 Club. It is CPI Day. A lot of things going on. We're smack in the middle of the range. Yes, it is buy program. Definitely knocked some people's teeth out. A little unexpected. Action's getting erratic. So got to be on your toes, everybody. Let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world before we get going. You know, who do we got? We got Scotty Gids. Who's that? What up? We got Blair in the house coming in every day. Joe Mama. Yeah. Joe Mama say you ugly. UGLY. You ain't got, remember that anyway. What up, Itz? What up, Thab? Texas in the house. We got Ontario. We got Laredo. We got Austin. We got a bunch of everyone tuning in, getting their day going. So, you know, it's been a little erratic, right? These buy programs, sell programs out of anywhere. It feels like we're going to fall apart and then rally, and then PS, we're back in the same spot. You know, the AI semis are a little weak. You got some, you know, mega cap techs doing decent, but all in all, you know, it's been a little trickier, you know, but I guess after an S&P 10% move in the first quarter and a lot of sectors participating, you know, you got to take a few weeks to digest and readjust and see what's next. What up, Bobby 4.0? We got Mike Pags in the house, Jim Nelson. There you go. So let's go to some charts real quickly. So if you look here, these are the Qs. You know, the Qs have been in the same spot. So this is March 1st. Remember this candle? Looked like we were ready to go out of this bull flag. And then pretty much from March 1st till what? Till April 9th. Almost 6 weeks of sideways action. So sideways action is healthy. You know, what sideways action does is it consolidates a big move in tech. If you look here at the weekly chart, it gives you a little bit more perspective, right? You go here, you see the size of the move that we had, you know, in the tech sector, which has been unbelievable. You know, a lot of us had a really good, you know, quarter. I hope you had a great quarter. You know, here was I remember that cup and handle, and then right here, this was. I wish I could have November 6th back. You know, that's why we look at charts. That's why we look at past movements. So this way, when you're in the moment and movement's happening, you take advantage of it and hopefully put money to work and, you know, look for leaders and do your thing. But anyway, from here, remember we took out the highs, and now all of a sudden we're going pretty sideways. But it makes sense. Question is, people are like, we can't continue this. So in order to really correct, you got to break and close below some levels, which we haven't done. We've been just correcting. We've been just like going sideways here. So this is your inside range. So 433 in the Qs is very important. And then this 449 is the high, and we're smack in the middle. So all in all, we're still above the 8-day. You're above the 21-day. It's been a really nice trend. While we're consolidating, though, you've seen other moves. You've seen, you know, a move in the XLE, right? The XLE took out the 2-year channel. Remember right here when it took out the descending trend line, you know, the financials went. You had gold and silver. So as an active trader, you know, it's like you got to find where the action is. And there's been, you know, a whole lot of action. So you go back to the daily chart. Actually, this is the XLE as we go back to the daily chart. You know, it's just consolidating up here. As long as it holds above 96. Look at the 8-day moving average. I love having the 8-day moving average in, because that's the trend, and that's what you try and, you know, hug and buy and trade around, because that's the momentum trend. If you trade actively for a living, when you're above that, you try and be long. When you're below it, you know, you're just a little bit tactical. So let's go back to the Qs one last time. So bottom line is we're smack in the middle of this range, and we'll see what happens today. We'll see what happens with the CPI at 8:30. All I know is it's a, you know, little tricky, right? Let's look at this move at the end of the day. You know, this was yesterday at the end of the day. I remember leaving. I had to go to a lacrosse game at like 3:40, and I was like, hey guys, you know, you have a little bit of a descending channel here, you know, and all of a sudden, boom, the end of the day, 310. Look at the size of this move from 439 to 4, boom. By the way, look at this bull flag in the middle of it too. You know, bull flags and and trend lines and chart patterns happen on a 5-minute basis too. So when this took this out, if you were short, you got a little squeeze. Look at the SPYs too. This is what I drew yesterday before leaving. I was like, here's this descending trend line, blah, 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 blah. All I know is I was pulling into the lacrosse game, and it was like 347. I'm like, what the hell happened? So PS, I'm calling trade support, managing a few things from the road, and this was this buy program at the end of the day. But again, if you have your charts up and you're quick, there's active cash flow to be made. Here was your first move. Then you had a bit of a consolidation for like 15 minutes, and then your continuation. So you have daily charts, you have 3-minute charts, you have 5-minute charts. Bottom line is, now you go to the SPYs, and it's still smack in the middle, just figuring it out. We're trying to figure out what to do here and how to make money and how to be safe. But all in all, big bearish engulfing candle last Thursday, got everyone a little risk down. I know I took risk down. And then on Friday, kind of penetrated back, proving that the active bears can't blanket sell everything. So you have to be a little flexible, have a few things on. And then you had an inside day, and then they played with both sides of that inside day. Now, with CPI, I would say here, these are your levels you have to really know. This is up 520.75 now. So if the CPI is light, and shows that inflation is in check, or at least moving in the right direction, and lets the Fed actually be able to maybe cut in June, because now it's 50-50. You have 520.75, and then here's 523.70, and then this is the high of the move right there. Okay, if it's hot, all of a sudden this this buying that just took place in the last 40 minutes, all of a sudden they get a little run over. Nvidia, it's wants to talk about. Nvidia, Nvidia's I said it, like a consolidation corrective phase. I've been doing a lot less in Nvidia. Nvidia had a huge move. This was your high. That was your reversal high. Here was a lower high. This is when it kind of changed, when it actually had a opponent move below a prior low and confirmation below the 8-day. And then, this actually engulfed this entire range. And then all of a sudden, yesterday, you have a low of 830. You come in today, futures are flat, and Nvidia is down, $10. So used to come in, the futures were flat, it was up $15. If the SPYs were up, $1.50, Nvidia was up 20. Hasn't been the case in the last few weeks. You have to recognize when that changes. So right now, I'm not, Nvidia's just in this corrective phase, and you got to do a little less. I tried playing it a little bit yesterday a few times. It didn't work. I made more money in Tesla yesterday than I made in Nvidia, and that hasn't been that way in a little while. But for today, I guess you'll see what happens. It's down 10. It's in no man's land, because 843 is right here. This is yesterday's low. This was that 841 that used to, matter. It doesn't matter as much anymore because it already took it out. So you'll see what happens. I will say something interesting. I saw a lot of talk about SMCI, a lot of talk about, this, what looks to be like a head and shoulders top pattern. Just be careful, because I don't think that this is over, but you do have a left shoulder ahead of right shoulder. Everyone's talking about, this neckline here. And I get it. Just, it just pulled in from 1229 to made a low yesterday at 881. So let's make that 881. It's probably down a little bit this morning. If Nvidia is down 10, you would think SMCI is probably down a bunch too, down 15. I just remember, let me just tell you what I remember. Like talking like an old school guy. First of all, it's here 886. Yesterday's low is what? 881. So it's a little bit above that. Here is your head and shoulders pattern potential. Actually, this is pretty big support down here. I do remember when Nvidia, just because we got to talk red dog reversals. Everybody loves a good red dog reversal, especially on a Saturday night. No, I'm kidding, not on a Saturday night. I do remember here, I remember when everybody got very, very bearish on Nvidia right here. And it looked like it. You had a left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. This is when everyone on TV who thinks they play technicians on TV thought they were cool to talk about. Oh, Nvidia's got a head and shoulders pattern. I think Kramer, whose dog's named Nvidia, had a really good call in the video. It was like, it's over. The chart looks horrible. Who's in control? And PS, this was your red dog reversal buy. This was the day that Nvidia broke below the neckline and then didn't hold it. That was the day the active bears had their chance to trigger a head and shoulders pattern to go to, do whatever they wanted to do. Instead, the active bulls took over, and that started that run. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying levels are important. Get above and stay above. There's momentum. Get below and stay below. There's weakness. If it gets below and reclaims it, it's a washout. Same way the other way. So I'm just saying that was right there at that spot. So just kind of be careful. SMCI is crazy to trade in itself. So if this is going to be a head and shoulders pattern, you just want to make sure that if it gets below and stays below, you want to just you just want to be careful that happens. So here's 812, 855, 881. In order for it to see here, it's got to get below and stay below there, and then this is a very big level underneath. So that's just a little food for thought. And now this, remember this wedge too. This wedge broke to the downside, and SMCI is actually weaker. Last Friday when the market squeezed some people, it showed relative weakness. So to me, I've been a little cautious there. How hot is Joe Mama says, how hot is Microsoft? Looks like it can go, and it showed relative strength yesterday. Okay. Microsoft's been pretty good. Microsoft's in the channel, just like the Qs. So I would say Microsoft is in the game. In order for it to get momentum, it's got to get above and stay above 428, and then you have 431. And I got stopped out of Microsoft yesterday. I was in it. I'm not going to lie. Red Dog gets stopped out of things too. When it broke this 423, I was like, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen. Or it was a lot of weakness in the morning. And, so I got stopped out. So now we'll see what happens here. What's Microsoft doing this morning? Let's see what Microsoft is doing this morning. What do we think? Microsoft is down 93 cents. So, we're within these ranges because these ranges are so big. What else looks pretty good? I'm still in Amazon. Yes, I am. It's been a pain in the butt. You got to look at the weekly chart because the weekly chart tells more of the story. I still have the 185, 187 calls. I didn't get stopped out. It's working its way towards the all-time high. Looks pretty good. Yesterday, day trading wise, Tesla was the best. Why was Tesla the best yesterday? Because I remember I talked about active sequences. Remember, I was like, hey guys, if Tesla's going to act better, what you're probably going to be able to do, it's down $1. Even though it doesn't sound like a lot, but for traders, you could have made 2,000 to 7,000, whatever it is. It's down $1. Okay. And then what did it do? You could have bought it down $1, showed a little relative strength in the morning, went through 174.50, the prior high. This is like day trading 101. I know no one day trades anymore. That's crap. Yes, they do. Anyway, here it went through 174.50, got above 177. So my little strategy yesterday was to buy Tesla down $1, see how it goes, add through 174.50, and then sell into 177. That was my trade. It took 30 minutes, could have made you a lot of money, and then that's your cash flow for the day of the week. Anyway, or just part of the cash flow. So now what? Tesla's up 88 cents. To me, it's it's not that compelling at all. But maybe it continues. Maybe it gets above this. Maybe it wants to see 184. Maybe it wants to see the 50-day. Now it's a little bit above the 821-day. So it's trying to act better. Elon is trying to change the conversation from declining margins, for this, that, more competition to the robotaxi. I don't know. Would you get into a robotaxi? I guess we'll all get into a robotaxi at some point. But anyway, silver thoughts. Silver thoughts. Anyone make money out of my boys and the crew and the dogs and silver? I made more money in silver in the last month or quarter than I did in Apple. They used to call me the Apple trader, but Apple's descent is correcting, and silver was fantastic. And it's still good. I still have a set of options on. If you look at the weekly chart, it feels like it's still on its way towards 2690. But this was when you want to get involved. This is when you want to get your size before it breaks above a level, before it clears this. And then here's where you want to scale out. And then once it pauses here for a little while, then you want to say, hey, maybe there's a monthly move. But look at that last time. That was in 2011. I remember that. But so I'm smaller. Some people say, hey, I'm adding. I'm like, I'm down to like 25%. But I did the same thing with gold. Gold, I was getting really long here. I was on with Liz Clayman. 3 different times we talked about gold and silver. But anyway, and I'm not a gold and silver bug. Here is where you really want to get involved. This was when it breaks above a level. And then I had one set of options. Then I bought some back at another set of options. And I think I trimmed myself all the way out of it. And I was probably done around 213. So I missed the last 3 days. You know what? I'll live. You don't have to catch a top. You don't have to buy a bottom. You get the meat and potatoes in the middle. You're always not going to go hungry. You can eat a little bit. Yes, Google has been a really good trade. Google has been like an Amazon, where it's made higher highs. Meta's been a little wishy-washy. And here we are at 648. I don't want to get too far into everything. I know crypto kind of had a little bit of a leg sweep yesterday, kind of annoying. I've been buying calls in BITO, trying to go out to May 3rd. So in the next month, if crypto actually holds the 67 to 69s and takes out 73, I'll have a really nice trade there. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. IBM, IBM is like kind of feels like an oracle where it's just like it's trying to hang around. It's trying to hold this spot, but it's hard to tell. It's had a huge move. IBM, Dell, Oracle, they've all had big moves, but looks fine. Looks fine. Just it's getting a little choppy. Like it looked like it was going to go and fail. Looked like it was going to break down and came back up. And you got to be, give things a little bit of room there with IBM. Yeah, ARM was a tell yesterday. ARM, Kramer ranting and raving about ARM. It was up $4 and it goes from up 4 to down 3 when $7. ARM's a tricky stock to trade overall. It's got to be perfect. You want me to put up ARM? They sold strength. ARM is still building. It's still fine going sideways, but here's your little red dog reversal. That was a good buy, a little bit of a push. It was showing relative strength on Monday into Tuesday, and then or whatever it was, and then yesterday, if you bought it in the first 30 minutes, you got your clock cleaned. Amazon to close 188, and then you think it'll go to 190. So Crack Rock, it's a nice Crack Rock. It's a funny name. I think Amazon's going to continue also. It's just, again, you got to buy a dip and you got to sell a rip and you got to continue to do it as it trends higher. So not a lot of momentum there. All right. So anyway, 650, it is CPI day. You have a lot of ranges here, a lot of ranges going sideways. Just know what you can handle. I would, map it out. Again, in order to get to 523.70, it's got to get above 520.70. Then in order to get back to the highs here, it's got to get above 523.70. Here's your 512.75. This was yesterday's low. It has a big travel range. The Qs are a little tighter. The Qs have been in this range for a while now, so we'll see what happens here. Some people are like, hey, Red Dog, is this a head and shoulders top pattern? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder? It could be if today was a weak day, as it builds. At this point, I'm very tactical. I'm trying to be flexible. I don't want to make big bets either way. I've been just getting, I've been trying to, sometimes as a trader, you have to pick and choose your hands. Like you're at a blackjack table. Okay. If you were at a table where all you could do is get an 11 versus 6 and play those hands, you would do it all day long. That's not what we're really getting here. If you saw, a 6 versus 6 or an 8 versus 9 playing blackjack, like these are crappy hands. I'm taking my money off. Too bad you have to put your money on before you get the cards in a casino, but at least in trading wise, you could look at the hand and then figure out how much you want to allocate and how much, you want to trade. So as of now, I have a bunch of options on a little bit of stuff and we'll see how it goes. Yes. I like that. Alexa, play The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. Let's see. Here we go. That's what I'll leave you with. Here we go. Ready? On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere. By the way, the stock market's not a casino. We were both too tired to sleep. It's a place to build wealth. It's a place to prepare for college. The window at the dark. It's a place to make a living if you could do so with a process and a plan. He began to speak. He said, son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces, knowing what the cards were by the way. 206.42 is yesterday's high, then 285. I could see you're out of base for a taste of your whiskey. You can sing it loud and proud. Here we go. So I
him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light.
It's still in the range. It's still okay. It's just taking his time. I'll put Bitcoin up. Here we go.
You're gonna play the game, boy. You gotta learn to play it right. You got
know when to hold them. Know when to hold them. When to fold them. I'm a nut. You never count. This is what you never do. They'll kick your ass.
at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the deal is done. Every gambler knows it's the secret to surviving. It's knowing what to throw away, knowing what to keep. Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser.
Are you really saying that? It's you like here every day. You're making fun of my singing. All right, guys. Good luck today. Don't get ahead of yourselves. And sometimes the erratic action between 8:30, 9 o'clock is nutty to play. You're better off just letting the dust settle a little bit. The first 30 minutes show its face and then figure it out. I'll see you guys later.
You got to know when to hold, know when to